Hello and welcome to the live for today. It is officially the second day of January and I'm really excited. I'm currently working from a co-working space today and I was in the mood to talk about entrepreneurship and some business. So I'm excited to share a few tips to today that can be applied to entrepreneurship and a corporate career. There are many transferable skills, principles that I've personally experienced being an entrepreneur and also still growing and thriving in my career in procurement, supply chain management. So I just wanted to hop on here, make a quick little video. And if you guys Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining the live today. I will get to that question in a second. Um, so just given my experience having a side hustle, being an entrepreneur, and still managing a corporate career, I just want to share 5 principles that has helped me that I believe will help you guys build a lasting career or a lasting business or even a side hustle, however you want to spin it. So these are transferable principles that I'm going to share with you guys today. Today's live will not be too long. I'm just gonna, but if there's any questions, feel free to leave them in the description box. And I do want to make this a series about business and entrepreneurship and sharing my knowledge, my mistakes, my journey. As you guys know, I do have a jewelry business. I do also have a tech business. I have my blog business, yours truly, Yinka. And your girl has made mistakes. I've made great decisions, been through the highs, been through the lows. So, and then even with content creation and just seeing how that has evolved through the years. So I'm gonna share a little bit of everything. All right, so Richard said, given how influential the corporate partisan media is, how do you propose we return to an objective presentation of facts without impeding on the First Amendment? That is a good question. And I will be honest and say I don't have the answer. The media and news outlets are controlled by people above and beyond us who make the final decision. So I personally don't have an opinion or a suggestion on that, but that is something that I would also like to know how that could be implemented globally and worldwide without impeding on the First Amendment, but just literally focus on facts and objectives. But we all know that there's always an underlying agenda. So as a civilian, I really don't have an answer for that. Hello, Nikita. Hello, Joni. Thank you for everyone joining my live. So today I want to share 5 business principles that can apply to entrepreneurship, building a side hustle, building your own business, and also in your corporate career. So first and foremost, I want to share the first tip is to adopt a growth mindset. It is so important that whether you're building your own business, you're working on a side hustle, or you are growing and starting your corporate career, you want to focus on growth, right? There's so many tools that you can utilize to help you identify ways that you can grow your business, grow your market, and grow in your corporate career. When you think of, I'll tackle both perspectives. When you think of an entrepreneur, whether you're starting your business, whether it starts off as a side hustle or you're going in full time, you just want to think, all right, this business I'm about to start, how can I scale it? Is it scalable? How can I add more products? How can I add more offerings? And then in your corporate career, you just want to think, okay, this is where I'm starting, but where do I see myself in the long run? And one thing I do use to help kind of help me get an idea of how I want to grow in my corporate career in supply chain management and procurement is looking on LinkedIn, looking at people in executive positions in CEO positions, just kind of see their trajectory and just kind of get a feel for, okay, in this corporate role in my industry, where can I see myself going and growing? And I just apply that with roles that I apply for, with when I'm in a role, the type of projects I accept, the type of projects I initiate, right? So I focus on how do I want to grow my brand in my corporate career, and also how do I want to grow as an entrepreneur. And I just really think it's important to really take time every year to focus on how you want to be, how you want to provide better services for your clients as an entrepreneur and with your side hustle, and also how you want to grow in your corporate career. So focusing on a growth mindset is first. Secondly, the second tip is networking. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you are working for a company, networking is so important because there are opportunities that you can only be privy to through networking. You have to network. So especially as a business owner, I always tell people do business with people they like. So whether it's joining your local chamber of commerce, going on meetup.com or Eventbrite to find local networking events. That is how you network as an entrepreneur. That is how you get your services known and out there with your side hustle. And in corporate America, you know, attending virtual happy hours, attending the happy hours or company events that your company throws, and then also joining your employee resource groups, right? ERGs are a great way to network and meet people. And I remember when I was working in the aerospace industry, my mentor at the time was like, Yinka, I literally say that he voluntold me. He told me to volunteer with the company's ERG, and that's how I ended up becoming a board member and networking. So you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone, especially with a growth mindset in your entrepreneurial business ventures and in corporate America. It's just so important to focus on networking. Never feel like, especially lateral, like a lot of people focus on networking up or networking higher, which is fine, but don't neglect the people that are on your level and even that are in junior roles, because you never know tomorrow. Like, people can get promoted overnight. People can leave, start their own company and become overnight success or even long-term success. And because you've had a good interaction with them while you were at your corporate job, you just never know the opportunities. So definitely networking, embracing your presence online, utilizing LinkedIn. And there's just so much power of networking in person, because when you network in person, you really get to read personalities and see like what, you know, how your in is with people. And I remember pre-COVID being in the office, there were certain people like, you know, we'd have to have our small talk about food or salad or travel before, you know, diving into the important stuff and asking for a favor. So you just kind of get to know how to network with people, speak with people, and it really helps with your public speaking and networking skills and just gets you more comfortable when you're in rooms or spaces when you're by yourself. So the fourth tip that I want to share for building a business that lasts long, or building a career, a corporate career that is long lasting and sustainable, is focusing on creating value and problem solving. At the end of the day, you want to be an asset. As an entrepreneur, it's so important to be an asset, right? Solving a problem, knowing your customers' pain points, finding ways to help people find solutions to their problem, right? That is the backbone of entrepreneurship: solving problems, helping people solve problems. So you want to focus on that. Whatever your niche is, whatever you decide to start a business on, what problem are you solving and how can you do it efficiently and in a way that makes your customers happy? Now, when it comes to your corporate career, you also want to focus on problem solving. You don't always want to have to go to your boss, your manager or your boss when you have a problem, even though they're there for support, right? But you always want to show that you're taking initiative. You always want to show that you do have a problem solving, facing mindset. You want to show that you're there to be an asset to help the company meet whatever deadlines or deliverables. So definitely leading with solving problems and creating value is definitely something I recommend. Try to find ways that you can create value in your role, right? And you can do that by, as you, let's say you're starting a new job, you're starting a new role, and you see like there's some issues and there's some pain points that the company or your team is going through. You can utilize AI, utilize your experience, and just try to find ways to bring solutions, right? Lead with solutions. Even if the solutions don't end up being used, the fact that you're coming to the team, coming to your manager, presenting solutions really shows that you take initiative, you're forward thinking, and you're showing that you want to be an asset to your team. So definitely lead with creating value and solving problems in entrepreneurship and in your corporate journey and growth, right? All right. So the fourth tip that I want to share is background checks. Yes, good old background checks. It might seem like a very boring topic, but let me tell you guys, background checks protect not only your business as an entrepreneur, but also your reputation as an employee, right? It's so important to understand the basics of background checks, especially when it comes to your personal information, criminal activity, civil activity, just understanding the basics, right? So in the world of entrepreneurship, it can seem very daunting and very overwhelming, but there are so many services and companies out there that can alleviate that burden off you, especially if you're starting off your small business. But I highly still recommend to understand the basics of background checks. And I can definitely deep dive into that if you guys want to know more. And I'm actually considering creating a second channel to talk more about like business, entrepreneurship, background checks, just dive deep into the nitty gritty, because I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people are scared or just feel like, oh, I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So understanding background checks as a small business owner, as a freelancer, is so important. And then also as a employee, right? Understand what is on your background check. Understand, if you've been involved in any altercations, whether it's criminal, civil, you should understand what would show up on your background check and what to prepare for that'll pop up in your interview or even in with screening. So understanding background checks is so important. And I even see background checks to a surface level, like, right? You have the criminal activity, you have civil activity, you have driving records, you have fingerprinting, you have document retrievals, you have now they have like retina, DNA, all that stuff. They're even like social media background checks. Like, it's crazy. Like, the world of background checks is really, really interesting and very intriguing. And like through the years, I'm really excited to see how AI will come into play. I know there might be some biases, but I'm hoping that AI would like level the playing field as far as providing information for consumers, and then also for business owners and employees providing information as well. So I highly recommend understanding the basics when it comes to background checks, whether you are a small business owner, freelancer, or a corporate employee. So that is very important. All right, so last but not least, this tip encompasses everything and is literally the forefront of all the tips to building anything long lasting, and that is developing a personal brand that speaks volumes, right? So as an entrepreneur, I know a lot of people like to like kind of be behind the scenes and they don't really want to be known, but I think it's very important to at least establish some type of authority as a thought leader, thinker in that field that you're in, because It builds trustworthiness. It builds character, and it just adds a level of security to your potential clients, knowing that, hey, even if you're not like the type of CEO or freelancer that, wants to show their face on social media, speaking at events, I still feel like it's important to just establish a personal brand, and that can be easily through LinkedIn or through a personal website. And that's it, right? But of course, deep diving would be creating content around your niche, right? And if you're not really into video editing or just not tech savvy, or you honestly just don't have time, you can outsource that, right? But I do believe in building a personal brand. It's so important, and it just really helps you play the long game with your business, with your freelancing. It just helps. And then as an employee, because you never know, today you're an employee, 5 years from now, you might be starting your own brand, or 10 years from now, you might be the VP at a company, right? I truly believe you can utilize platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, even though we know it might not be here, YouTube, to help establish your personal brand. Let recruiters and employers understand your point of view when it comes to your field. Keep it professional, nothing personal, but it's just more of establishing you as a voice in what you're interested in and what you want to study. And it's especially important if you want to pivot, right? Because let's say you're going from healthcare and you want to get into tech. When you're creating content around tech, sharing your knowledge, dipping into your past life of healthcare world, it just shows how much of an interesting person you are, how personable you are, how easy it might be to work with you. And I just think that there are ways to establish a personal brand without, going crazy on social media, because, some people don't want to be making videos every day on social media. And I totally understand it. Some people just, want to establish a personal brand and then just tap into it monthly or quarterly at least, or yearly, which is fine. So I definitely believe finding your happy medium when it comes to establishing your personal brand is so important. And I feel like these are five tips that can definitely help you as an entrepreneur, freelancer, or as an employee. So I'm just gonna recap really quickly, and then that'll be the end of the video. So the first tip that I shared was to adopt a growth mindset. So important. You want to think big, you want to think long term. It just helps with strategizing, product rollout, service rollout, and just keeps you innovative and growing and competitive. Second was networking. So important. Network. I can't say it enough. Attend trade events, industry events, local chamber commerce events, town hall events. Just network. It's so important. You never know who you're going to meet and where your next lead will come from, or where your next job opportunity will come from, especially if an interview was not even involved. So the third tip that I shared was to focus on creating value and problem solving. Super, super important, because it helps establish you as an asset, someone valuable as a business owner, valuable as an employee. So you just want to be valuable wherever you go. It just gives you a little negotiating power. It helps you leverage your experience, leverage your point of view, leverage your skill set, no matter where you go, right? Now, the fourth and foremost tip is to understand the basics of background checks. They're so important. I can't stress that enough. At least understand the basics, whether you are an entrepreneur going to be hiring your first employee, or you're going to be hiring a freelance, a 1099 contractor. Understand the basics. And there are many there are many companies that offer HR services and also offer background check services. And I'll probably make a whole nother video about that. And as an employee, understanding what your background check looks like, right? So you already know how to speak about anything if anything comes up, or just understanding the basics. Just understand the basics. Background checks 101, very, very important. So the last and final tip that I shared was to develop a personal brand. It's so important, and I can't stress it enough, whether you are an employee or you are an employer and an entrepreneur. Your personal brand will take you places that hiding behind your brand, hiding behind your company will not, and will open doors for you that you probably never even thought. So those are the 5 tips that I suggest to help you build pretty much foundations for long-term success, whether you're an entrepreneur or you are in the corporate world as an employee. I do see a question. I came in a few minutes late. Are you in tech, and what is your role? So, hi, Marie. I am in tech. I currently work in supply chain management. I studied supply chain management in undergrad, and I just always known I wanted to be in business. So my current role is as a procurement specialist, and I've worked in the aerospace industry. I've worked in tech. I've worked in the background check industry. I've worked in food. And I've also worked in content like social media marketing. So I've done procurement in all those industries, and I must say it's been very interesting, and I've learned a lot. And I think I'm at a place right now where I'm very comfortable to share my knowledge, share my experience, and guide anyone who has any questions, and just be a resource to help anyone who has any questions. So yes, I am in tech, and specifically in the supply chain management industry per se. So it doesn't look like there are any other questions, but that is pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. 2025, we're gonna get to the bag, get to the money, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye.